Now, so I have here with me Mr. Isaac Atta, and he's a coconut seller. He tells me he's been selling this for the past 16 years. I mean, this story is so exciting, and I would want to know more. So let's just get into the conversation. Mr. Atta, now we see Kube, we see what shall say.
16 years.
It is sunny, you boy, I call it saying.
A year, mammy.
Saying, I am always saying.
Say, do man, I may have been the Amenia womb. Yana Bokrana in the Amenia womb.
What's that in Pempino? You are saying, by will be our own man. Copasto any particular be when you are saying. And see, who say now when you not coconut, I could be an episode or one. I say, it's a brabo moon, your mind kitting to know. Not just a son, is it ban? Mammy, tis and was a meeting.
Who been in your talent, but now Brabona and Korea, mammy, means to answer. They send me down bed, maybe.
Say, Uncle, yes, I say, oh, my man, Shano, Papa, more catch my internet.
We say, Miss Pusem, Papa, no man, so some from Uncle.
I don't know, I stop banana.
Oh, I mean, yes, Tobo, said Tamana, skinny fee. Skinny fee, meant to Manco Square, every semi could be in my many of my end. To make the same to me to answer, say me pay, it may be Namie. I'm sure I could be near better, mammy.
So, why you want ma?
But you,
in my saying, and you're in the most saying,
well, you're about on my fall.
So, we say business no air cost year. For you, it's not me, but also one my fall. So, when you're Moko school, and I back on school, me and Nuku school, not to Subande on year. You're also last one, only year. Open the or driving. You're driving taxi. Oh, I see. How many years? Oh, 23. 23. And the last one, the price was saying. Last one was 1.5. Wow. And so now, say, what's why you do 16 years? But you. And also, wait to me, I had anything. I sit down and answer them down there. I shall make your name, ma. And I have a story building, Nana. But I have a single room. I see. And this, yeah, so now we sit on the man for boo when you see. Como que oh, copy do my year to say, what's that? Sunday is a bind here. And Kavuka Pam setting. So, we are near Duma, and some meaning say, a Duma clutching a bang Duma. And to see, I said, Oba, and so cast off, so over ye Duma Wavia, over Peninsula, and I will pushing this said I will saw ye. Oh, there be. About over Duma Fufro. I made your move. I didn't tell woman in your way, Duma, so then one as sick home. And say, Duma and Scow, say, I didn't. And that's what to me, I almost over to me, Ayana. You may best of a bread. I see. And so I said, on my own shame, so may say you my baby, but she said, any day. Oh, I didn't mean to mention, I say, Frank, I have a cousin, you must see, you must see, and to save your own back, Casada. The person may a soldier, the person may police, the person may you mana we in area, then I catch it. Ah. Want to mean you say, Naso no, we say we intend no on what I saw ya. Want to make a Jenny say, we are sitting now, when I go away and as on what you do, so good to my idea, minimum problem. And over man or quaint. Or to me, and to the Ababuan. And this is your good wire to who should when him say, maybe 4 years and 5 years time, maybe no, oh, shame him say, about one of his young question. I'm saying, the young woman. I see. So don't you mind? You may have bought pound. Oh, I bought me. It's all employers. I go on my own to be at the corner. There be number one collar, maybe what did you question? And she almost as on your sales. Somebody on my bed account, someone now with your car. On my other was saying, well, 4. It's only sound on my back. They say, oh, the good, pine one. I say, on the track. What the good pine moon. Tennis on the bar still saying on whatever. What tongue about could be a tongue and PCC or the trend that never. No way, I'm an answer or anything. Every a tongue in your animate your one car. That's about me and I'm in feed you on. One I'll feed you on. Oh, and see, I almost funny stand on what the coin funny and him fan. What then I'm crooning. It's one person who would not say a day no. To me, yes, saying. Oh, to me, about 500 a day. Ain't not me to say someone for the Cassine Mamu I am mutajine no mu skakra say bank for chese yampana.
Oh, me dey adwuma we dey mechanical. O ye adwuma bank a on fa on to no.
Sa cheche mi mu cheche mu yi.
Oh, me tuma ka se me dey kube be 1,000 pieces be ba. Me ton be ye for no I tire sa be 3 days ya ton awie. Me tuma nya profit be 2,000 won. The 2,000 no 4,000 am 1,000 am ankola no.
Into kube no wanka sana utu kwan no akofa na so bi na.
Me anka sana makofa.
So aya akofa wen.
Me ko insan mu nkren ase.
Na wanka sa wo ka sa.
Ba je me ni me ka.
Uni ka.
Ba je yo.
Tanu ne sa no ye de o rent ya na.
Rent.
I see. Enti so far so o we futo bi abe to obi ra oni adwuma ya na se bibi se omra kube adwuma ni mu ana.
Oh, kube adwuma na mi so bebe mu dia metuma kire se ye do bebe mu dia be bua wo. Eye o hwasu ya eye crashing abanga adwuma.
Okay, enti oma hu omo so omo mbu mu adwuma se no omo sa na futo be na de be mo mo.
Omo na me mobo.
Omo ye mobo. Ade tro omo ye mobo.
So wonim dia sete.
Sa.
Wonim dia sete ya ko kro be preso wo be ye.
Oh, I say just sika home. Nice. And that's a source and Kasaya. So this was Isaac Atta, yes, and he is a coconut seller. So you heard his story. His story may be sad, it may be emotional, but this is the hustler story. That was the coconut seller. This is Everyday People on GhanaWeb TV with me, Victoria Cheibafo.
Mommy, you basically see about Kotoso. People got sending me sicker from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shit and left me £2.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Exchange waiting in so ye. Unbeatable. We should me promo code Dr. Like Nenya £10, $10, and $10 for the first transaction. With this send this download to Lemonade Finance.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana Digital Agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
I want you so bad, Alpha Cracker. I want you. I wanna say yes, I can't resist. I want you. Ooh, I want you, Alpha Cracker. I want you so bad, Alpha Cracker.
Alpha goodness rich in milk and butter. In Alpha Cracker. Yummy and deliciously crunchy.
But I can't resist you.
Alpha Crackers. Simply irresistible.
This advert is FDA approved.
Go Ghana! Are you struggling to pay your huge rent advance? Do you wish to pay your rent on monthly basis? Then good news is here. The government of Ghana has introduced the National Rental Assistance Scheme to help Ghanaians, especially the youth, pay for their rent on a monthly basis. To qualify, an applicant must show proof of the following minimum requirements. Be a Ghanaian, possess a valid Ghana card. You must be an adult of 18 years and above, have a verifiable employment or earned income. To apply, visit www.nras.gov.gh. The scheme is currently operational in the following regions: Greater Accra Region, Ashanti Region, Eastern Region, Western Region, Bono East Region, and the Northern Region. For further inquiries, contact 0551 341 515 or 0550 408 879. National Rental Assistance Scheme, making renting accessible for all. Everyone needs the perfect snack to munch on during a fun moment.
Wow. Enjoy the tasty McBerry Twist cupcakes, deliciously baked and packaged for a sweet treat.
Premium quality cakes baked with love for all, enriched in butter and milk.
Yummy.
Oh, McBerry Twist cupcakes, simply irresistible. Try one today.
This advert is FDA approved.
Honourable members, shall we pray? Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic, endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government this land and people
may be well and truly served, and thy good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Praise the effort of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honourable members, we don't have any message from the President, neither do we have any formal communication from the Speaker. We will then jump to item 4 in today's order paper, which is correction of votes and proceedings and official report. We will begin with votes and proceedings. Votes and proceedings. We start from page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Yes, Honorable Member for South.
Mr. Speaker, page 9. I've been marked absent, but I'm aware that at the request of the Speaker, a number of us had to be in the north, particularly in Yendi yesterday in the morning, to support him to pay a courtesy call on the Yana Abubakari earlier at Nalirgu. Therefore, legitimately, I'm to be marked absent with permission since I was performing parliaments. I wrote. I'm not one of those who doesn't know the process. But Mr. Speaker, whilst you were busy looking at the votes, this aspiring running mate, I don't know who is ahead of who, whether it's the Honorable Chair or the Honorable Minister for Education. They were in close consultation. I want to know who is ahead of who. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. But
Honorable Member for Tamale South, I didn't hear your last discussion. Which page are you referring to? Yes, Honorable.
Right, Honorable Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Yes, I can confirm that our colleague indeed duly asked permission and should have been marked absent with permission. So if the table office can take care of that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, DBT majority.
Mr. Speaker, I think there's a ruling on this matter by Mr. Speaker. I think there's a ruling on this matter by Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
They are leading you into trouble, Mr. Speaker. So you place that matter on ice until Mr. Speaker comes. But the decision is yours.
Yes. Minority Whip, Deputy.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Mr. Speaker, you can see Parliament has been divided into two, half in the north, half in the south. Even Friday, some of us are going to the north. So what will happen? does it mean we should write or they will mark us? Because we are going to do same parliamentary work there.
You see, I believe, as we've always been saying, it's like a member traveling outside officially. You still have to put in official permission so that the records can capture. We are aware that a lot of our colleagues are in the north, but officially, we don't have anything on the record. So we need to have those things on record so that the table can also rely on that. So, like the deputy majority leader said, I think we will hold on with that. The speaker himself mentioned it. But since we don't have anything on record by way of documentation, I think I'll find it very difficult to respond to this particular issue. Like I said, it's like you ship traveling outside. It's official duty, but yet you have to put in official permission. So that's my position.
There are two different things. What my colleague, the deputy whip, said is different from Honorable Haruna's position. Honorable Haruna did put in a request exactly. The problem was that we didn't sit on Friday, and his request was supposed to have been worked on. So that's why I was pleading with you that his case is completely different from those who went to Tamale without putting in an official request for absence. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. I would direct the table office to cross-check their documentation. If indeed there is documentation to that effect, they will correct the report. So we move to page 9. Page 10. Page number 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Page 18. Page 19. Page 20. Page number 21. Page 22. Page 23. Page 24. Page 25. Page 26. Page 27. Page 28. Page 29. Page 30. Page number 31. Page 32. Page 33. Page 34. Page 35. Page 36. Page 37. Page 38. Page 39. 40. Yes, honorable member.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Joseph Kwame Kuma. Page 40, item number XXII. XXII. Table, listen, XXII. We have District Finance Officer, Tatali District Assembly. Yes, the D should be capital. Tatali, the district is small d. They should be capital.
Honorable, will you come again? Speak up. Speak with the mic, please.
Page 40. Page 40.
Yes.
Item number XXIII. Mr. Bilal Adam. Mr. Bilal Adam, District Finance Officer. Tatali District Assembly, the district to be capital D.
Well. Table. And we take note of it. So we turn to 41. 42 page. Are you up again? Yes. Honorable Kuma. Yes, let's hear you.
This one too, correction. Page 42. Item number XIII. Mr. Salifu Mohammed, District Coordinating Officer. That's what is written, but I'm sure it should be, for consistency's sake, it should be District Coordinating Director. District Coordinating Director instead of Officer.
Well. That is XLVIII.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Honorable member, do you know him personally? Or you are just making inference from?
Yes, personally.
We always call district coordinating director.
Mr. Speaker, the moment coordinating director, we don't have coordinating officer. We have coordinating directors.
Yes, but our information is that they fill the form with coordinating officer. So how do you reconcile that? Anyway, we will check and make appropriate corrections. So we move to 43. Page 44. Page 45. Page number 46. And finally, page 47. Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of yesterday, Tuesday, 13 June 2023, is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. We have the Tuesday, 29th March 2022. Tuesday, 29th March 2022. Official report. Honorable members, I take it again. Tuesday, 29th March 2022 official report. Honorable members, in the absence of any corrections, the official report of Tuesday, 29th March 2022 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Okay. Very well. Yes. Honourable members, I believe we are going to have committee of the whole, and it is not just going to be not committee of the whole. We will have a crew sitting, and to that extent, I will employ the media and other visitors to leave the ground. And on that note, let me acknowledge our daughters from St. Louis Secondary School, from Kumasi, who have come all the way to witness proceedings in the House. Honorable Forikrum, have you seen your school? Yes, they are here to witness proceedings. Again, we also have ECG Montessori School, Committee A Tema. We are also welcome, we acknowledge you, as well as Yaudonko Salvation JHS Akim Akroso. Yaudonko. Yes, Yaudonko Salvation JHS Akim Akroso. We acknowledge all of you. I hope if you want to witness proceedings, you have to hold on a bit. Excuse us for some minutes before you come back to the gallery. So the media and all other members in the gallery, please, we plead with you to excuse us to have a close sitting committee of the whole. So we will suspend for committee of the whole.
Mommy, you basically see my cotoso. People got sending me sick from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shit and let me £2.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Extinguishing in so unbeatable. We should be promo code Dr. Like £10, $10, and $10 for the first transaction. What is send this guy download to Lemonade Finance.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana Digital Agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
I want you so bad, Alpha Cracker. I want you. I wanna say yes, I can't resist. I want you. Ooh, I want you, Alpha Cracker. I want you so bad, Alpha Cracker. Don't me call one casa.
Alpha goodness rich in milk and butter in Alpha Cracker. Yummy and deliciously crunchy.
But I can't resist you.
Alpha Crackers, simply irresistible.
This advert is FDA approved.
Go Ghana! Are you struggling to pay your huge rent advance? Do you wish to pay your rent on monthly basis? Then good news is here. The government of Ghana has introduced the National Rental Assistance Scheme to help Ghanaians, especially the youth, pay for their rent on a monthly basis. To qualify, an applicant must show proof of the following minimum requirements. Be a Ghanaian, possess a valid Ghana card. You must be an adult of 18 years and above, have a verifiable employment or earned income. To apply, visit www.nras.gov.gh. The scheme is currently operational in the following regions: Greater Accra Region, Ashanti Region, Eastern Region, Western Region, Bono East Region, and the Northern Region. For further inquiries, contact 0551 341 515 or 0550 408 879. National Rental Assistance Scheme, making renting accessible for all.
Everyone needs the perfect snack to munch on during a fun moment. Wow. Enjoy the tasty McBerry Twist cupcakes, deliciously baked and packaged for a sweet treat. Premium quality cakes baked with love for all, enriched in butter and milk.
Yummy.
Oh, McBerry Twist cupcakes, simply irresistible. Try one today. This advert is FDA approved.
Papa. for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, who is also the Member of Parliament for Awutu Senya East Constituency, Honorable Mavis Hawakumsen, and a powerful delegation from her ministry to give us updates on the outcome of the 2022 closed fishing season and announcement of the 2023 closed fishing season. But before I yield to the Honorable Minister, permit me to acknowledge some dignitaries who are with us this morning. We are joined by the Technical Advisor to the Minister at the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Mr. Samuel Korte. Also with us this morning is the Administrator, National Premix Secretariat, Nana Abrakwa Asari. With us this morning is the Executive Director, Mr. Fred Nchibuedu. We also have with us the Chief Director at the Ministry, Madam Mariam W.A. Papa. We also have with us the Chief Director here at the Ministry of Information, Mrs. Morgan Esiedu. And we are joined by the Deputy Minister at the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, who also double as the Member of Parliament for Trobu Constituency, Honorable Moses Enim. Also joining us this morning is my boss and the Member of Parliament of Ofuasia Iribi Constituency, Minister for Information, Honorable Kojo Nkrumah. And as I mentioned earlier, we have Honorable Mavis Hawakumsen with us. So I will now invite the Honorable Minister for her remarks, and then we will come back to you for the Q&A session.
Thank you, my sister, Auntie Fati. The Honorable Minister for Information and MP for Ofuasia Iribi, Honorable Kojo Nkrumah, my Deputy Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Honorable Moses Enim, who also doubles as the Trobo MP. Honorable Deputy Minister for Information, Madam Fatimatu Abubakar. Chief Director for Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Madam Maria. The Chief Director for Information Ministry, Executive Director of Fisheries Commission, Administrator, Premix Secretariat, Directors of Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, and Directors of Fisheries Commission. Friends from the media, I am grateful for the opportunity to engage with you and the entire nation to brief you on the outcome of 2022 closed fishing season and to also inform you of our preparation for the 2023 edition. Let me take this opportunity to express my gratitude to the Ministry of Information and my colleague minister for granting me the platform to make this presentation. The presentation will be in two parts. My initial introductory remarks will provide an update on measures undertaken to mitigate the impact of closed fishing season to the artisanal fishers and processors, and initiatives regarding alternative livelihood schemes and measures to address illegal fishing. The second part of the presentation will provide highlights of the scientific outcomes of the 2022 closed fishing season, which will be presented by my technical officers. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the fisheries sector supports the livelihoods of over 3 million people along the value chain in the country. And the sector contributed about 1.2% to GDP in 2022. The per capita consumption of fish in Ghana is 26 kilograms as compared to the average of 15 kilograms for West African sub-region. In 2022, the country earned over $250 million from exports of fish and fishery products. It is therefore important that we manage our fisheries resources sustainably to promote the well-being of these communities. As we are all aware, the fisheries sector is being threatened by depletion or decline of fish stocks, as shown by low catches confirmed by fishers in recent surveys. This decline in catches is as a result of many factors, including climate change, marine pollution by plastics, illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing, excessive fishing pressure, and overfishing. Friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen, scientific working groups such as FAO, Scientific Working Group, and the Scientific and Technical Working Group of the Sustainable Fisheries Management Project, led by late Professor Jansen, have recommended implementation of drastic measures, including closed season, to ensure recovery and rebuilding of depleted fish stocks to avoid collapse of the fishery industry. Consequently, the Ministry and the Fisheries Commission has since 2016 been implementing closed fishing season as a fish stock recovery strategy with the objective of reducing overfishing and high fishing pressure, recovering over-exploited fish stocks, rebuilding depleted fish stocks, replenishing dwindling fish stocks. To ensure continuous recovery and rebuilding of depleted fish stocks, closed fishing season were implemented from 2016 to 2022, except 2020 due to COVID-19 pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, the legal basis for implementing the closed fishing season is prescribed in Section 84 of the Fisheries Act 2002 at 625 that empowers the Ministry and the Fisheries Commission to declare a closed fishing season. The scientific working groups have recommended that the closed season should be implemented between the months of July and September, which coincides with the spawning period of the fish stocks. This ensures that the fish spawns at least once in its lifetime before caught by the fishers. Thus, in the past 2 years, the closed season has been implemented between July and August. Friends of the media, the closed fishing season has always been implemented through strong stakeholders' engagements with leaders of fisheries associations, fishers, academia, and CSOs. This year, we met the leadership of all the fisheries associations, academia, and CSOs on the 13th of April 2023 at the Closac Hall to discuss the outcome of the 2022 close season. After thorough and frank discussions of the reports and how to better implement future close seasons, the 2023 close season was announced as follows. Canoe and inshore fishers will observe the close season from the 1st of July to 31st of July 2023. Industrial trawlers will also observe the close season from 1st July to 31st of August 2023. Let me also put on record that the tuna fleet also observe their close season 3 months in every year. To mitigate the impact of the closed fishing season on fishers and processors, the ministry during the 2022 closed season distributed 20,000 bags of rice and 8,333 cartons of oil to support fishers and the fish processors during the closure. I must also mention that the fishers were supported with 6,000 bundles of wire mesh, 20,000 basins, 1,710 chest freezers, and 1,150 subsidized outboard motors. As a way of reducing pressure on the fisheries resources, the ministry and its partners, including the Ghana Fisheries Recovery Activity, has launched the Alternative Livelihood Training Support for fishers, starting with 550 fishers in masonry, carpentry, dressmaking, hairdressing, electronics, and auto engineering, etc. in selected communities along the coast. This training will be scaled up to over 8,000 fishers, and after the training, trainers will be supported to set up to ensure that they can earn incomes from their trade. Furthermore, it was agreed again at our 13th April 2023 meeting that gains from implementing the closed season will be eroded if we all do not collectively combat IUU fishing activities. The ministry will therefore continue to empower the fisheries enforcement units to curb any illegal activities. Some of the new measures that the ministry has put in place to combat illegal fishing are as follows. Deployment of electronic monitoring system on 3 trawl vessels this year for the pilot phase, and it will be extended to cover all trawlers and tuna vessels by 2025. The EMS has a video recorder, a camera, and a global positioning system to recording fishing activities at sea 24/7. Implementation of ministerial directive on specification on trawl gear to reduce catch of juvenile fishes and bycatches. Directives on that trawl vessels can be at sea for not more than 30 days for any fishing expedition. I am also happy to inform you that following consultations, Côte d'Ivoire will implement their 2023 close season within the same period as Ghana. This will reduce the likelihood of fishers from Ghana migrating to fish in a neighboring country. Next year, we expect Togo, Benin, and Liberia to join. On behalf of the ministry and the Fisheries Commission, I wish to thank our gallant fishers, academia, and development partners for their continued support in implementing the closed fishing season. Thank you so much for your attention.
Honorable Minister, thank you so much for the insightful presentation. I was so excited to hear Minister mention that the decision to announce closed season and the choice of period and duration is all based on science and what the scientists and the researchers have found out to be a way to maximize how the industry, get them to perform better after the closed season. That being said, Honorable Minister also mentioned that in the year 2022, a total of about $250 million were earned in exports of fishing products. And I would only encourage all the fishers and stakeholders to listen to the minister, because if you don't listen and you don't help them to get the best out of all the research and all the investment they've made so that you can really maximize outputs, what will happen is that you go out to sea and come back empty-handed. Go out to sea and come back empty-handed. And it wouldn't be worth all the hard work and struggle. Honorable Minister also mentioned that due to this, they have tried to come up with some mitigating measures during the closed season, including distribution of relief items to fishing communities, as well as the introduction of alternative livelihood programs. Honorable Minister, thank you for the thoughtfulness and all the initiatives to ensure that whilst they are not going out to sea, whilst they are not at the shores, they will be able to provide for their families and they will be able to put food on the table. So thank you for that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I will invite your questions. If you have any question, this is the best time to ask. So you mention your name and affiliation and then proceed to ask the questions. I can see 5 hands here, so let's start from John. So kindly send the microphone to him. So we should take that before. Okay. So we will take the second part of the presentation so that we don't do the Q&A twice. So that Honorable Minister and the technical team can take all the questions at once. So thank you so much for notifying me. So we'll go to the second part of the presentation. Kindly come.
Good morning. I stand in the protocols that my Honorable Minister used. Emmanuel Kwame Dovlo, Director of Fisheries Research. Thank you. My mission here is very simple: to give you the outcome of the 2022 close season. Outcome of the 2022 close season. Whilst I present it, I'll try to elucidate some of the reasons why we believe that the close season should continue in 2023. The language is highly technical, but I've attempted to make it semi-technical so that we can all understand and appreciate the scientific work. My outline are the following: importance of closed fishing season, results of socioeconomic studies, results of fish catch analysis and biological studies, and then conclusions and recommendations. No, yeah, it's small. I can't read it, so I'm reading from here. Yeah, I'm fine. Okay, I have it here. Okay. Okay. Close season is a harvest. It's a harvest prohibition of fish during a defined period so that the stocks can reproduce and there will be good recruitment so that the fisheries can rebuild itself. This allows the fish to spawn at least once in their lifetime during the spawning season before fishermen can have the chance to harvest them. In the long term, there will be increase in the yield of all the species, both the small pelagics and the demersals. And what then happens is that the benefits of this increase in yield go to the fishes that are supposed to obtain it, particularly the artisanal fishes. Implementation of close season, we all know, as my minister said, is enshrined in the fisheries law. For time, I won't talk much of it. It's already been said. There are experiences from implementation of close season in so many parts of the world. And in almost all parts of the world, where fisheries are being managed, excuse me. Close season is implemented the world over in any managed fisheries. And there are examples to show. In 2013 in Philippines, we are looking at 30% increase in catch. In Senegal, we also saw it in 2017. We are looking at 35% increment. And then in Morocco and Mauritania, we are looking at 125% increments in the small pelagics. This indicates that the close season that we are implementing here is also yielding results. And these are the results that I'm here to give it to you. The studies are in two parts. We have the socioeconomic studies and we have the biological or the scientific, the hardcore science studies, the biological and the fish catch data analysis. For the socioeconomics, the survey was conducted in June, July, and August. So the June represents the pre-closure, July is the closure, and August is the post-closure. The study investigated the effect of the 2022 closure on the socioeconomic well-being of fishing households in 4 coastal regions. And it involved the artisanal fishers. And we look at 5 districts: Keta, TMA, Kia, Infantiman, Shama, and Enzima districts. The indicators that we look at were dietary diversity. For non-technical term, I'll use the word balanced diet. We also look at food poverty, which we can commonly use the word food income, and alternative livelihoods. With respect to the dietary diversity, we use Shannon diversity to compute it. And we use a model by Greer and Torbeck for the food poverty dynamics studies. When we talk about the Shannon Diversity Index, we usually use it in community studies where we look at the species richness. So we have 2 components. We have the richness and we have the evenness. The richness talk about the numbers. So here in terms of food, we are looking at the number of individual food groups. And in terms of evenness, we are looking at the relative composition within it. When we talk about the poverty line, basically what we use was to look at the relationship between calorie consumption and then the food expenditure. That is the food poverty dynamics. As opposed to the dietary diversity, where we use the Shannon index, where we look at the evenness and the richness to compute. The primary data was collected using a questionnaire in 3 rounds in June, July, and August. Then we look at a total number of 127,508, where a third is fish traders and the 2/3 is basically the fishermen. We administered 800 questionnaires with the fact that some of them will be non-responsive and there will be some attrition. At the end of the day, we had 772 that we analyzed. Next slide. Yeah, so here are the food groups and their components. For the studies to meet international standards, we use U.S. Department of Agriculture standards. So we have the 5 food groups there. The results basically show that the closed season generally improve balanced diet within the fishing household. There were a high proportion of households that had some level of food income after the closure. A small fraction of the fishermen and fish traders had alternative livelihoods or employer skills in other economic ventures. From those who had no alternative livelihoods, the fishermen in particular preferred factory work, masonry, carpentry, and farming. The fish traders, mostly women, prefer petty trading, dressmaking, food vending, hairdressing, soap making, and bakery. This study those recommended that seasonal closure should be accompanied by social protection for the fishing community and training program for the youth during the closure. Now let's move to the second part of the analysis where we look at the fish catch data and the biological studies. We pick sea surface temperature from Tema from January up to October. And that is a graph. Yeah, that is a graph that we have here. We took 4 sampling sites where we collected fish samples, and we also obtained data for the fish catch data analysis. These are Keta in the Volta region, Tema in Greater Accra, Elimina in Central region, and Sekendi. And for the pre-close season, we look at 3 months, April, May, June. And the post-close season, we look at August, September, and October. The species we look to are round sardinella, flat sardinella, and anchovy. And for the demersals, we look at red pandula, red mullet, and Angola dentes. Basically, we pick the weight of the fish catch, the fish length and fish weight, and the weight of the gonads. When I say gonads, I'm talking about the eggs and the sperm of fish. We cut the fish, and then we took it, then we measured the weight. Before this one. Yeah. These are some of the samples of the fish that we bought. Back. Yeah, these are the places where the sampling was done. The first one is Keta. We have eliminated the Promise, working on the fish sample. And then Temba, we have Julius, who's also working on fish samples. For Elmina, we have Frida, who is also working. And for Skendi, we have Patrick, who is also working. So these are the results of the fish catch data analysis. For round Sadnelda, we realized that after the closure, the catch per canoe moved up from 223 to 273 kilograms, and for anchovy from 269 to 400 kilograms. Next. Here is the biological studies. So the first graph on the left is talking about the length frequency. So we realized that out of the fish that we bought and we worked on, Sekendi and Tema, the mean fish lengths were higher compared to the other station. That is shown on the graph with the 4 plots. And the one on the right is talking about the A is talking about what is called gonadosomatic index. When you talk about gonadosomatic index, basically we are looking at the weight of the gonad of the fish to the total weight of the fish. That gives idea about reproduction. So we realized that before the close season, they were low, as we can see from the graph. And after the close season, we realized that, we realized that they were high, meaning that around that time, they were spawning. Then the B, we look at the length of the fish. Here to realize that in the month of April, May, June, the lengths were not as big or higher as August, September, and October. We can see that clearly from the graph. The next one, we look at the maturity stages of the fish, and then the length at first maturity. When we say length at first maturity, we are looking at the age or the length that the fish is ready to spawn, the fish readiness to spawn. When we look at the graph on the left, we can see that when you look at the colors, red represents immature fish and green represent mature fish. And we can clearly see that before the close season, there were a lot of immature fish. And after the close season, we can see the green bars very high. The fish that were caught, most of them were matured. Those that were not mature were few. And this is because of the close season where we protected some of them so that they can spawn before harvest can take place. And then when we look at the length at first maturity, that is the length or the size or the age that the fish is ready to spawn, we realize that for anchovy, the length is 6.7. When we look at the mean length graph, we realize that the mean length for both the 4 stations, they were higher than the length at first maturity, meaning that most of them spawned because of the close season before they were captured. We saw the same picture also with the round sardinella. Yes, the round sardinella is there. Here too, we look at the length frequency at the 4 stations, and then we look at the gonadosomatic index, and then we look at the length frequency. We saw the same pattern. We realized that before the close season, the gonadosomatic index were low, the lengths were low, and after the close season, they were all significantly higher. And when we talk about maturity stages and the length at first maturity, just as we saw for anchovy, we saw the same thing for round sardinella. Here too with the green, we can clearly see the high quantity of mature fish that were harvested as a result of the close season. In August, September, and October, virtually the small ones were not harvested, which means that the small ones will escape and they will grow big in the following recruitment season, basically. And we can see that clearly from the graph for both the anchovy and the round sardinella. Yeah, so higher percentage of mature fish were caught after the close fishing season because of the close season. The explanation of what the graphs is what is over here. Now let's quickly look at the mean length of the fish landed. I've already explained this, but we have the length at first maturity, the mean length, and the maximum length. And as I said, the mean lengths were always higher than the length at first maturity, showing that the fish spawned before they were harvested. And the maximum length too, we can see for them, they are all high. And when we compare the results of 2021 and 2022 close season, we can see some interesting figures. We read for round sardinella, the maximum size that fishermen captured in 2022 was 22.1, compared to 21 centimeter in 2021. For anchovy, 11.2 compared to 8 in 2021. And for flat sardinella, 25.5 compared to 21. In conclusion, the closure generally improved food income and livelihood, improved food income and balanced diet within the fishing households of the artisanal fishers. The landings of the small pelagic species, which is the reserve of the artisanal fishers, were high after the close season. Majority of the fish caught after the close season were adults and at least have spawned once in their lifetime. The mean length of the species exploited after the close season were higher than the minimum allowable landing size permitted by law. Bigger sizes of fish were caught in 2022 compared to 2021. This scientific study has revealed signs of replenishing fish stocks and increase in growth of the population of the stocks over time. This is science. The Fisheries Act mandates the Commission to use science, best scientific knowledge available to manage the fisheries. And it's science. I'm not speaking it. This is science that is speaking, revealing all this information. In recommendation, social protection for the fishing communities and training for livelihood alternatives should continue. The months of July and August must be maintained as a month for the close season, as is protect the spawning stock. The other conservation and management measures being implemented, including enforcements, need to take place concurrently so that we can have a cumulative effect. Based on our scientific findings, we recommend that the close season for the artisanal and inshore in 2023 takes place from the 1st of July to 31st of July 2023, and for the trawlers, industrial trawlers, to take place from the 1st of July to 31st August 2023. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for Mr. Dovlo. He's done so well, and people don't even know how invaluable research is in some of these fields. They may not understand the science. But for those of us who consume kenke, I know that if you go and buy kenke with 1,000, and they tie just a small rubber for you, and if you have the benefit of counting the number of baby fishes that you are eating for 1 Ghana cedi, it's just a simple analogy to tell you that only if they had left them in the sea for maybe 2 more months, that rubber that has been tied would have been turned into a basket, more value for the fisherman and more value for the women and everyone else within the value chain. So that is what the science is saying. Let us not eat the babies. Let's wait small. July, August, and at the end of August, you know that you are going in for better returns, for a higher percentage in terms of the number of mature fishes that you can catch. On that note, we'll take your questions. And okay, one hand, okay, same here. So we'll take the 5, one at the back, and I saw Armstrong's hand. Okay, no.
Good morning. My name is Aqua, Kasapa from GhanaWeb TV. A report by the Environmental Justice Foundation reveals that Ghana is missing between $14.4 million to $23.7 million due to fishing license and fines from trawlers. Now, this is because 90% of the Ghanaian trawl vessels that operate on our seas are owned by these Chinese organizations and are fronted by Ghanaians. We want to find out if this narrative satisfies factual accuracy. How does government intend to check and correct this opacity of ownerships? And my second question goes to, there are about almost 70 trawl fishing vessels in Ghana sea waters. That is within the exclusive economic zones, 188 maximum nautical miles. Now I want to find out what policies and measures are government putting in place to ensure that these workers on these fishing vessels are not subjected to hard labor. And my final question goes to, how does government intend to make...
Please, can we keep the questions at 2?
Okay,
your
my final
colleagues,
question, please.
There are too many hands.
How does government intend to make fishing policies on small scale? Thank you very much.
Thank you for the questions. Please, let's keep the questions brief and maximum 2 questions.
All right, thank you. My name is John Awuni, Kesben Media. My first question is updates on the Jamestown fishing harbour. How far is it? Which stage have we gotten, and when is it completing? And secondly, my second question has to do with people in the industry, the business people in the industry. They are saying that currently the import levy on fish was taken from 15 cedis to $17. And if you do the exchange rate based on 12 cedis to $1, it means it was taken from 15 cedis to 204. That's 204 Ghana cedis, and that is very high. And then still on the import duties, the first one was import levy, and this one is import duties. They are saying Ghana currently charges 40% import duty on the fishing sector, and that of Cote d'Ivoire is currently at 12. So they are alleging that there are some Lebanese companies that have relocated to Cote d'Ivoire. They send a full shipment to Cote d'Ivoire and then cut through road to Ghana. And by so doing, they've also gone further to convince Ghanaian traders in the fishing sector to be patronizing from their sister company in Cote d'Ivoire, and by so doing, depriving Ghana of some money. And she indicated that 1.2% is derived from the sector as in contribution to the GDP of the country. So what is the sector doing about that? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Please, let's keep the questions brief, okay? I want everyone to be able to ask their question.
Okay. My name is Abdul Hanan. I work with GhanaWeb TV. Minister, I'd like to find out from you. You mentioned that Ghana earned $250 million in terms of fish export. Now, the Tuna Association of Ghana is telling us that we import about 150 million of tuna annually to this country. Doing the mathematics, do you think that we are doing enough with the figures that we have in 2022? And secondly, I'd like to find out from you, you mentioned that you are taking measures to curb illegal fishing activities and also instituting a pilot phase when it comes to monitoring activities on sea. And 4 years ago, we realized that Emmanuel ACN went missing. Till date, we don't have any accurate report on what actually happened when he went on this fishing, superfishing at sea. could you kindly update us on that situation as well? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Atamansa.
Thank you. My name is Atamansa from GNA. As the Minister rightly said, Ghana received $250 million in fish export and other fish products. I want to find out the destination countries and then the kind of fish that were exported. Then two, the Minister said in 2022, the ministry supplied 20,000 bags of rice and 8,000 cartons of oil to some communities. Looking at the number of people who depend on fish for livelihood, over 4 million. And so if you are supplying this amount of rice and those things.
The 4 million is the entire value chain, not fishes.
Yes.
Meaning even the kenke seller is part.
I know. But even if you are looking at even only the artisanal fishermen, they are about 1 million. And so if they are not going to fish during that period, and you are supplying these items, it's not a drop in the ocean. And what is the category of selecting the beneficiaries? Thank you.
Thank you. I saw, Lanza and then Armstrong. Okay.
Thank you very much, Madam Fati. My name is Musa Lanza with the EIB Network. My first question has to do with close season. Former President Mahama is on record somewhere early this year to say that we have a lot of industrial fishing vessels on our territorial waters, and so it's affecting artisanal fishers. And so the next government that he would form would consider banning close season for artisanal fishers and then allow only the trawlers to have the close season. What's the ministry's position on that? And secondly, I've made it a business of mine to go around the beaches to look at how we're throwing away polythene material. And at the Blue Economy Summit, one of the issues raised was how plastic waste is affecting the fish stock. What is the ministry doing in terms of collaborating with other agencies like the EPA and the Marine Police to deal with persons who litter our water bodies? Thank you very much.
Thank you for the questions. Okay. Yeah, please proceed.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable. My name is Joseph Armstrong. I work with TV3. Honorable, growing up, I remember how we used to move from Dansoman to the Kwale Lagoon area to fish, and also with the Dansoman, the Chemu Lagoon, the Gbebu Lagoon, and also somewhere in Jatakpa. We used to fish a lot from the rivers and lagoons that we can see in part of Accra. Unfortunately, go to the Kwale Lagoon area now, that place is a dead zone. And these are places that fisher folks also used to catch fish, reducing the stress and pressure they put on the sea. So my question is, if you are talking about alternative livelihood for fisher folks during close season, how about factoring in how to protect some of these lagoons and river bodies in parts of the capital and other parts of the region so that we can get some fish from these rivers as well? I want to ask a second question also on the use of unapproved nets, most part of our landing beaches. Honorable, if you go to Kecha now, you see almost every landing beach have the use of monofilament nets in their boat, and they do it with a lot of pride, without fear or favor, because they say that as long as the trawling vessels are allowed to fish within their river bodies, they will also use the monofilament net, because that's the only way they can catch the little fish that has been left for them. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the question. We'll take the last one. Oh, I'm seeing more hands, but because of time. Okay, so we'll take the last one so that we take only this round, and Minister will get the benefit of responding to all of you at once.
Pacho Midindi Bernard, Arthur, from United Television, UTV. My concern here, alternative livelihood, Honorable Etachi, and I'm saying close season, baby, and I know Omwa
omo apofofo no omo concern. Nti mpese me hu say nhyehyɛ ben ye de agu to be able to sustain that, just about the sustainability across the country. Thank you.
Thank you. Nana.
Yes, my name is Nana Poku from Daily Searchlight. Hello, Minister. I have a question on inland fishing. There was a time in Ghana here we were fishing from the canoes, from the lagoons, from the lakes, from the river bodies. But these days, fishing in there has also reduced or gone down drastically. What are the reasons? And what are we doing as it were to resuscitate some of these things? And then, if we look around, there are some species of fish we don't see anymore in the market. For instance, I hardly see redfish. That is my delicacy. I don't see them anymore. I don't know what's happening. Amani and the rest. So what is accounting for that? Is this the same of those illegal practices, or just because you are not taking very good care of these species of fish? And then my last question, how much of fish in totality do we import as a country? And how are we going to reduce it so that we can save some amount from a little foreign exchange? Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll take the lady at the last hand. Okay.
My name is Emilia Enin Abe. I write for the Daily Graphic. Minister, my question is tied to that of Bernard and Mr. Arthur from GNA. This year, what's as the social intervention, what's different? What are we going to see for the fisher folks? How different will that be compared to the previous years? And also, your minister mentioned that the ministry is going to empower the enforcement unit to help curb illegal fishing. What kind of empowerment is the enforcement unit going to see, and what differently are they going to do? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. The last question, please.
Sorry. My name is Prosper Agbenega from Ghanaian Observer. I want to know if the ministry is aware of the increased smuggling of fish from our neighboring countries, especially Ivory Coast, due to increase in levies and duties.
Okay, it's been asked already. Okay, so I take that to be the last question. I will invite Honorable Minister for her responses. Yes.
Thank you, my sister, Deputy Minister for Information, Auntie Fati. I didn't know I'll be bombarded with such many questions. I would have eaten some fufu or banku before coming in, but I will try my best. I will start from the last end, which is about the enforcement units, empowering them. Yes, we have the enforcement units, and they are already empowered, but we want to intensify it. How do we intensify it? The ministry doesn't have, patrol boats. So we are not able to patrol and combat the illegal activities on the sea. But we have our enforcement units and their officers along the coast who are fighting these illegal activities. And so for us to enforce it, we are working with the Navy. And so what we can do is to maybe fuel, in collaboration with the military or the Navy, will fuel their vessels to be able to patrol on the sea to fight these illegal activities. Because of that, government has given us, cabinet has given approval for us to purchase research vessel and patrol boats to be able to work effectively. But for the meantime, we are working with the Navy to get their patrol boats to fight the illegal activities. The next one is, how much fish do we import? About $150 million. About $150 million of fish is what we import in the country. And that is why we are encouraging people to take up this aquaculture farming, so that we can bridge the gap of supply and demand. We are working seriously. Last week, Thursday, His Excellency the President commissioned the state-of-the-art aquaculture farming center at Amahia, so that we'll be able to produce more fish to bridge the gap for demand and supply in the country. The reasons for the extraction of some fish in Ghana now. I mean, when my brother was asking the question, he had answered before asking the question. We talked about excessive pressure on the sea. We talked about the number of people who are now doing fishing activities. Apart from that, our bad ways of living, pollution of the environment. I will tie it to the person who asked about the pollution when I get there. But the thing is, we see plastic waste in our sea. This fish goes in for it, it chokes them and it kills them in the water. You don't even see it. We pollute the air, the sea, thinking that we are trying to hide behind something. The last time I was saying that when it rains, you see that is where people dispose of their waste into the gutters. Then it moves directly into the sea. And if it's not going into the sea, the lagoons are there. It goes to the lagoon. So it kills the species there. And when we say we should stop polluting the environment, throwing wastes anyhow, people think it is the duty of government. It's the duty of all of us. Who is the government? You are the government. I'm the government. What are we doing to stop these unnecessary activities that pollute the environment, that pollute the sea? Have you thought of the fish that you eat from the sea? Have you thought of the fish that you eat from the inland, the water? We do all these illegal activities. It's part of the illegal activities. Not only galamsey is illegal. Throwing waste into the sea is also illegal activity. So my brother, as I earlier mentioned, you even answered the question before you asked, and that is the issue. Alternative livelihoods during close season and how sustainable it is. It is government's priority to support the fishers. The fishers are supposed to even pay tax. I've said it and I'll mention it here again. But they are not paying for any tax. But they enjoy a lot from government. Government gives them pre-mixed fuel on subsidy. Government gives them outboard motors on subsidy. And so when we are doing closed season and government has decided to also give, he is trying to support them because initially they didn't understand the reason why we should be doing the closed season. Not that they didn't understand. They knew that the closed season is one of the measures that we can rebuild the stocks. And that is why those days you hear our chiefs in the environment say, and the community will say, we don't go for fishing on Tuesdays. It was a way of conserving some of the species during that time. And we didn't know. But now they have stopped all this Tuesday fishing that they don't go for. They now go for fishing on Tuesdays. But when we brought in the closed season, they thought, if we are not on sea, what will we be doing? If we are not fishing, how do we take care of our family? Yes, the alternative we are giving them is not enough. We cannot cover all the numbers. My sister corrected the questioner that about 4 million people along the value chain. Yes, but we are not attending to all the people in the value chain. Because if you're selling kenke and there is no fish at that time, you can sell kenke with sardine. There is tilapia. We have catfish. That's why we are encouraging, again, for this fish farming, so that we will not always solidly depend on the marine fish. Unapproved nets. And my brother said they do it with pride. Not when they see how I come see. When they see me, they hide those nets. Because they know. And even the fisheries law is against it. Because of that, the fisheries ministry, last year, or was it this year? We started last year. We gave them some fishing nets, the approved ones, so we could retrieve the unapproved one. It's a way to encourage them. Government cannot supply the approved fishing net to all the fishermen. But those that will get will encourage those who will not get, so that they can also go to the market to buy. And it's also another measure we are taking to enforce the law, to make sure that when we get you with monofilament or unapproved fishing nets, you are in trouble. I started it last year. I went to the Western region and we went to New Takrady. We were about to arrest them, and they came on their knees begging me. Then I allowed them. But unfortunately, after the close season, because of the issue of pre-mixed fuel, we couldn't go on them. And so this year, we are going to make sure that after the close season, all of them will use the right fishing net to do their fishing. We are also embossing the canoes. So if your canoe has its number plate on it, and you have monofilaments in it, or you are doing fishing with unapproved fishing nets, that is where we also use it to refuse you pre-mixed fuel to go for fishing. Because if you give you the pre-mixed fuel, which net are you going to use to do the fishing? Is the monofilament, which will not allow you. So when you change, then we can start giving you the pre-mixed fuel. And you see these fishers, sometimes, they are so stubborn. So, look, during the close season, when they are not even supposed to go, around Axim area, you see these people hiding somewhere in the bush, but the enforcement unit will go for them. They are not supposed to do light fishing. It's one of the illegal activities. You see them hiding generators in the bush, far, far, far on the sea. Or somebody will meet them along the way with the, generator in the canoe. Then they will take it and go for the fishing. But we are not able to chase them on the sea, as I mentioned earlier, because we don't have the patrol boats. But I know God will provide us with the patrol boats, and we'll be able to patrol on the sea and combat all these activities. So with the use of monofilament by fishers, we are trying to change the fishing nets, and we are not going to allow them to use it. We will use the law to make sure that they use the right fishing net to do fishing. And as my brother said, Keta, and some areas we don't have the lagoon is now a dead one. I've responded to that. And I believe that you advise those around the lagoons, the Keta one, the the Kwale and others that they should start respecting the lagoons. If they respect it by not throwing in waste materials in it, the fish, the lagoons will produce the fish for us to enjoy them. I didn't get this question well. Okay, it's also about the lagoon issue. If we can work on it so that it will be part of the alternative livelihood for them. Yeah. Fishing infractions and the number of vessels on our sea. When I took office as a minister, I realized that there were some infractions and the fishers were not paying. Immediately we finished with the close season in 2021. I told them it was one of the measures I'll use to get my money. So if you come for your license and you have infraction, you will have to go and pay before you are given a license. So we're able to retrieve that of the 2018-2019. And that of the 2020, as we speak, 2020, 2021, we have started collecting them. So if they say government is losing, it is true. We used to lose a lot of money. But now, by God's grace, we are fighting back to make sure that, not necessarily only collecting the money, but we are also saying that if you have multiple infractions, then be sure that your vessel will be taken away. I'll just join these two questions. The number of canoes or vessels on our seas. Yes. When I took office, we had about 74, 76 trawlers on the sea. Fortunately, about 14 have left because they couldn't stand the pressure from me. 14 have left. We are still working on the rest. And as I mentioned, if you have multiple infraction, you are just going to leave the place immediately. We'll retrieve our license. Because if you think you can continue paying, we cannot also allow you to go and destroy the sea and come and pay us. Yes, we need money, but that's not the kind of money we need. If we have more fish, we rebuild the stock there, we'll get money more than what we are taking from you. So if you have multiple infraction, the only and last thing we can do is to make sure that you leave the system. And so very soon you hear of some of the vessels that are going to, their licenses will be retrieved or deny them of their fishing licenses. Jamestown Fishing Harbour, how far? Jamestown Fishing Harbour is between these two ministries, Fisheries and Transport. Basically, Transport is fully in charge. And I am sure it's almost completed, if not about 80 to 90%, because my colleague minister mentioned to me that very soon we'll be commissioning that one too. After the commissioning of that of the Elmina, that of the Jamestown will be the next one to be commissioned. So we are almost completed. Import levy on fish used to be 15 Ghana cedis. Now, is about 204 Ghana cedi. My brother, I'm very much aware of this situation. I'm discussing it with the finance minister. And so I believe we will resolve it. In fact, not only with the finance minister, I've also reported to cabinet. So cabinet has directed that the finance minister should work with me and the industry to see how best we can resolve this issue. It's a big problem, especially with the importers. But when they import and the taxes are so much on it, definitely we, the consumers, will be paying. And government will not also be happy to see consumers suffering. So we are working at it, and very soon we'll resolve it. Yeah, so if the 40% of imports taxes on fish sector, like I said, is something we are working on. So we'll surely get to the end. 150 million tuna importation. I'm not sure we import tuna in Ghana. We rather export tuna. So maybe the questioner did not get the question very well. We don't import tuna. We rather export tuna. But we import other fish products, or maybe the other fish species. And I'm telling you this on authority, that it is the tuna that the country also processes and exports. To also tie it with the questioner who asked, I don't know whether it's the same person, that where do we do our exports of the fishery products? To Europe and other countries. But basically, Europe is where we do much of our exportation. And that is why the EU is on us, giving us the yellow card, the warning, to tell us that if we don't stop with our illegal activities, they will stop buying those fish products from us. And we are working seriously to make sure that all these illegal activities stop. I remember, Mr. Kote, I started for Korea, was it 2012 or 2013? 2013. Yeah, the first yellow card. And unfortunately, Ghana had exported, or the exporters had exported tuna to the Europe, and they returned everything back to Ghana. It was a huge blow. So we don't want to experience that again. But we normally export our fish products to Europe. That's our bigger, or the biggest market. About IUU, I've mentioned here that we are putting in so many measures to make sure that the illegal activities stop. One is the gear directives given to the trawlers. Another one is the trawl days. You are not supposed to fish more than 30 days. Another one is no transshipment on the sea. And so if we give you the trawl, the gear specification, it's basically forcing you not to go in for the small pelagics, because they are not for you as a trawler or industrial. So these are some of the things we are doing to cap the IUU. We are also, about Emmanuel Asians missing. I think he's still under investigation. I will invite the investigator to give me much information on this. As at the last time, they were still not concluded with the investigation. So I will call the investigator again to hear how far, and I'll get back to the media. Our neighboring countries, the tax over there is low, and so the fish importers are using their ports. As I've mentioned, we are working on, together with the finance minister, to see how best we can resolve this issue. I think I've responded to the relief items, the number of items that we are giving. As I said, we are not even supposed to have given those things, but we think we just have to give them some support. And we cannot cover all the fishes. We cannot cover all of them. How different will this year be from provisions previous years of our empowerment? Giving out 20,000 bags of rice. That is the 5x5. 20,000. So that 20,000 multiplied by 5. 20,000. Is it 25 or 5? Because 25 kilos. We have 5 in it. Multiply 100,000. We are not giving full back to them. Because basically, when you look at the number of days that we do the close season, that's why maybe the fishers are not complaining. It's just 2 weeks. Because in the month, I'm told they fish for 2 weeks. And then the second week, they are not able to fish because when the moon is up, the light reflects on the water. And so the fish do not come out for them to be caught. And it takes them 2 weeks. So basically, it's just 2 weeks. And if government is giving you 5 kilos of rice for 2 weeks, a bottle of oil, wire mesh, and basins and other things, government is doing a lot. Government is doing a lot. In the midst of all our financial crisis, government is still taking care of the fishers. And I think that is the best government can do. Akufo-Addo government of Fechon. My brother from Atinka. Is it Atinka? No. GH1. I didn't want to respond to the former president. You see, you quite remember the former president ever said that Ghanaians easily forget. Do you remember that? Ghana for yencheni. So the platform he was and made mention of that he will cancel the closed season for the artisanal. When I heard it, I laughed over it because onimni awoka ebia wonimusu asheda for political gains. But that is not the right thing. You see, it was under his watch, under former president John Dramani Mahama's watch, that we were given the yellow card. Okay? And we were stopped not to export fish products outside this country. But because we have shown commitment, we have not been stopped not to export. We are still exporting. And he was the president of the country. Was he able to even stop the trawlers from doing the cycle? He had ministers there. Was he not the minister and the president of the country when they were doing cycle there? So if you allow the trawlers to go and fish what the artisanal people are supposed to fish, and then you say you not allow the artisanal people to do closed season, whether they do closed season or not, they have no fish. You have no money. If you have no money to go and do transshipment, on the sea, then it means you cannot be a fisherman at Elmina. You cannot be a fisherman at Sekendi because you have no money to go and do transshipment. It takes His Excellency the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, through Mavis Hawa Kumsi, to stop cycle in this country. And so, no more transshipment or cycle. So if the artisanals even observe the close season, after the 2 weeks, when they go, they have bumper harvest. And so they are not worried. They are even calling for the close season because after the close season, I mean, the scientific report, you heard it. And we hear in this country, when after the close season, the bumper harvest that we have, through this close season, say, it has started again. The airline has started. It's in the market. It's on the market all over. Those species that we used not to get about 5 years ago, last year we started getting them. And so gradually we are rebuilding the sea again. The depleted stock, we are rebuilding it. And so if he says he will not impose close season on artisanal, and it's a law. It's a law. In fact, we are also with international organizations. And so the law bans you to do it. In my earlier presentation, I made mention that the close season started in 2016. But because he was reluctant, the minister could not enforce it. Because he was reluctant for them to implement it well. Maybe the way His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is giving them the relief items, he couldn't have afforded giving it to them. And so he couldn't enforce the close season. But His Excellency the President says he would enforce it through our Kumsin and still give them relief items. I think I've answered the plastic waste. And which one is the last one? Have I answered everything? Mumbo and Semame.
Honorable Minister, you've been so inspiring. I was just sitting there enjoying your presentation and how versed and how rounded you are in the field, knowing everything that is going on in every corner throughout the value chain. So thank you so much for the insights, and I believe we should get to do this again after the close season so that we can come and share the results with Ghanaians for them to see how beneficial the whole exercise has been to the country. So on behalf of my Minister, Chief Director, and our team here, we thank you so much for attending upon invitation. And thanks to Honorable Deputy Minister and the entire team for accompanying you. We also thank GTV and all other media houses for picking this feed live. And once again to the press, we can only count on you to send the good news out there and sell the story to Ghanaians. Thank you so much for joining us. Good afternoon.
Susu sang kwai bia wan to nam bia e man in kwai bebre.
Mommy, you fish can see about Kotoso. Pepoga, send me sika from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shit and let me £2.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Extinguishing in so unbeatable. We should be promo code Dr. Like £10, $10, and $10 for the first transaction. What is this download to Lemonade Finance.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana digital agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
I want you so bad, Alpha Cracker. I want you. I wanna say yes, I can't resist. I want you. Ooh, I want you, Alpha Cracker. I want you so bad, Alpha Cracker.
Have a goodness rich in milk and butter in Alpha Cracker. Yummy and deliciously crunchy.
But I can't resist you.
Alpha Crackers, simply irresistible.
This advert is FDA approved.
Go Ghana! Are you struggling to pay your huge rent advance? Do you wish to pay your rent on monthly basis? Then good news is here. The government of Ghana has introduced the National Rental Assistance Scheme to help Ghanaians, especially the youth, pay for their rent on a monthly basis. To qualify, an applicant must show proof of the following minimum requirements. Be a Ghanaian, possess a valid Ghana card. You must be an adult of 18 years and above, have a verifiable employment or earned income. To apply, visit www.nsrental.gov.gh nras.gov.gh. The scheme is currently operational in the following regions: Greater Accra Region, Ashanti Region, Eastern Region, Western Region, Bono East Region, and the Northern Region. For further inquiries, contact 0551 341 515 or 0550 408 879. National Rental Assistance Scheme, making renting accessible for all.
Everyone needs the perfect snack to munch on during a fun moment. Wow. Enjoy the tasty McBerry Twist cupcakes, deliciously baked and packaged for a sweet treat. Premium quality cakes baked with love for all, enriched in butter and milk. Yummy. Oh, McBerry Twist cupcakes, simply irresistible. Try one today. This advert is FDA approved.
Capital of Rwanda to another province called the Muzanzi, which is about 2 hours 15 minutes drive from Kigali. This is also the same province that gorillas can be found, which I'm super excited about. We are heading to a must-see place in Rwanda, which is called the Bedrocks Cultural Village. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. So guys, while on our trip, guess what? We are here and you can see the city of Kigali from here. Look at this, so beautiful. Hi guys, we are back again, Charlie. Still here in Rwanda. I'm at a place called the Bedrocks, and here is where banana beer is. This is my first time hearing banana beer, and I'm going to be trying it for the first time. I'm super excited you all are coming along. Right here in Rwanda is the banana beer. Let's go, let's experience everything that happens here. Let's go.
Red Rocks, it is a it have two types. One, it is a Red Rock Cultural Center, where it is a social enterprise. Means that it says these tours, and it says restaurants, where it is a non-profitable organization. Its main purpose is for sustainable and conserving the nature around Volcano National Park. This is a campsite where we have camp tents, and we have other fixed tents. We have so many kinds of tents. Every day they come by doing some activities like a basket weaving and even cleaning and even doing whatever. There they have community art gallery, means everything they do here, you found there on the community art gallery. Okay, thank you so much. I wish you all of you to come and sit, because here there is your seat. And we are going to start by first step, where we are going to peeling our banana. First of all, we are going to wash our hands. In Rwanda, we focus on hygiene. Yes. All of you, experience. The experience means all of you, we are going to
work together.
Yes, to work together. Yes.
Can I just peel it?
As one. Yes.
So you're going to peel.
And then you peel it.
Yes, you peel like that. And then the fluid you put inside here.
Okay.
Yes.
Allowed to taste some banana, so I'm about to taste the banana. This is very sweet banana.
Okay, now as you see, this is our banana inside the breathing tube, and then this is our spear grass. In our local name, we call it ishinje. Ishinje. Ishinje means we use. It is a plant which is to be on some mountains of Rwanda. Yes, and there are some people who import them in Uganda. And then we are going to put inside here, and then try to mix in two positions, 1, 2, 1, 2, by smashing activity. Smashing activity. This grass, it is like a filter. Yes, it is like a filter where you put here and then try to mix, and then juice try to come. Yes, in the some press.
Is really beautiful and it's really fun out here.
You're going to go in two positions. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, left to left, yes, yes. 1. is like a filter. It means, as you see, there is a spear grass inside and even in the banana.
Yeah.
Where the juice is a cum. Yes. It means this is our juice.
Yeah.
Yes. It means we are going to separate by using this material. And we are going to test.
I have my banana beer. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers, my love.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is how it looks like. So this is the final product. When this is left for some time, it ferments and become a beer, just like how palm wine is made. So I'm going to be trying it for the first time and let you know how it tastes like. Wow. It's actually very sweet. It's sweet. It has it's sweet. It's sweet just like banana juice without the fiber, and the back tastes like the grass because of the grass that you use, but it's not bitter. The back taste is not bitter. It's actually sweet. This is nice. You should try this. This is a beautiful experience here, and I love everything. The women are so nice. Everyone is just fun. Yeah. So cheers once again. I have a little left, so cheers. Thank you so much. So they served us with some maize. And wait, give me potato, please. Thank you. So this is sweet potato. It's very hot, and yeah, very hot, and it's nice. Yeah, sweet potato looks different from the ones that I've seen in Ghana. Ours is a bit whitish or yellowish. Sweet potatoes.
Okay, enjoy.
Oh, welcome. So I'm going to try my hands on weaving this. This is how it looks like. So.
If it's possible, give that basket to madam, and then you continue there.
So to give this.
Our things ready for there.
Aww.
Yes. And then
I think it's very similar to crocheting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
it is. Yeah.
We dance our cultural songs.
Yeah. Ah, nice. brings us to the end of this experience. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed being here, as much as I enjoyed the whole experience of banana beer making and the dancing, the cultural experience. If you want to come here and experience everything, it's $45 per group. So you want to come here with your family, you want to come here with your friends, whenever you are here in Rwanda, whenever you are here at the north, whenever you are here at the Bed Rocks Cultural Center. Until next time, I want to say subscribe, like, and share. Until next time on my next video from Rwanda, I love you all. Mwah.